Hello everyone, this is Benjamin Cayanong and I will be presenting to you my oral report. So Unit 4, Development of the Learners at Various Stage. Week 10 to Week 12. Week 10, Prenatal Period. To make the description of human development complete, it may be good to understand the beginnings of the child and adolescent. The learners of how it all begins in the process of development inside the womb of a mother. We must learn how we all begin and created. Each of us has its own purpose and in life purpose. The stages of prenatal development. Number 1 is germinal period, from conception to 2 weeks. Prenatal development takes place in the first 2 weeks after conception. It includes the creation of the zygotes, continued cell division, and the attach of the zygotes to the uterine wall. Second is the embryonic period, 2 weeks to 2 months. Prenatal development occurs 2 to 8 weeks. The zygotes will become embryo organogenesis. This is the process of organ formation during the first 2 months of prenatal. So these are the 3 layers of the cell. The first one is endoderm, which is the inner layer of the cell. The second one is the ectoderm, which is the outermost layer of the cell, and the third one is mesoderm, which is the middle layer. So as the 3 layers of the embryo form, the support system of the embryo will develop rapidly. So there are 3 life support systems. These are the placenta, umbilical cord, and the amnion. Teratology and hazards to prenatal development. Teratology. It is the field investigating the causes of congenital defects. Teratogen is that which causes the birth defects. It comes from the Greek word tera, which means monster. So below are the clusters of hazards to prenatal development. Prescription and non-prescription drugs. So, prescription drugs. Thalidomide and antibiotics can be harmful on the developing fetus. Non-prescription drugs. The mother should be careful from the time of conception. Anything she intakes, the unborn child absorb. Paracetamol can also considered as non-prescription drugs. So these are more examples of non-prescription drugs, including the diet pills, aspirin, and coffee. Pregnant women who drank caffeinated coffee were more likely to have preterm deliveries and newborns with lower birth weight compared to their counterparts who did not drink caffeinated coffee. Heavy drinking by pregnant women results to the called fetal alcohol syndrome, or FAS. So this includes radiation in job sites and X-rays, environmental pollutants, toxic waste, and prolonged exposure to heat, saunas, and bathtubs. Number 4 is the maternal factors. A developing fetus depends entirely on its mothers for nutrition. It is recognized that maternal nutrition during pregnancy may result to the inadequate growth of the fetus. Number 5 is the paternal factors. Paternal factors that can adversely affect paternal development include exposure to lead, radiation, certain and petrochemicals. As in the case of older mothers, Older fathers also may place their offspring at risk for certain defects. This is according to Soundtrack 2002. Human life begins at conception. Indeed, the mother's womb developing a woman. The sacrifices of the mother started from the day of their conception until the child see the beauty of the world, still the mother leading us, and help us to face the future. Week 11. Physical development of infants and toddlers. The cephalocaudal trend is the postnatal growth from conception to 5 months, when the head grows more than the body. Proximodistal trend. It is the prenatal growth from 5 months to birth, when the fetus grows from the inside of the body towards. Height and weight. It's normal for newborn babies to drop 5 to 10% of their body weight within a couple of weeks of birth. That is due to the baby's adjustment to neonatal feeding. Brain development. Myelination or myelinization. The process by which the axons are covered and insulted by layers of fat cells begins prenatally and continues after birth. Motor development. Among these aspects of motor development, infants and toddlers begin reflexes to gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Reflexes. The newborn has some basic reflexes, which are, of course, automatic and serve as survival mechanism before they have the opportunity to learn. Many reflexes which are presented at birth will generally subside within a few months as the baby grows and matures. There are many different reflexes. Some of the most common reflexes that babies have are sucking reflex, rooting reflex, gripping reflex, curling reflex, startle or moro reflex, gallant reflex, and tonic reflex. Gross motor skills. It is always a source of excitement for parents to witness dramatic changes in the infant's first year of life. Fine motor skills. Fine motor skills are skills that involves a refined use of small muscles controlling the hand, fingers, and thumb. The development of these skills allows one to be able to complete tasks such as writing, drawing, and botaning. Can newborn hear? The sense of hearing in an infant develops much more the birth of the baby. When in the womb, the baby hears his or her mother's heartbeat, the grumbling of his or her stomach, and the mother's voice and music. Can newborns differentiate odors? In an experiment conducted by McFarlane, 1975, young infants who are breastfed shows a clear preference for smelling their mother's breast pad when they were 6 days old. Can newborn feel pain? Do they respond to touch? Babies respond to touch. In the earlier part of this module on motor development, you learned that a newborn automatically sucks an object placed in his or her mouth, or touch of the cheek makes the newborn turns his or her head towards the side that was touched in an apparent effort to find something sucked. Can newborn baby distinguish the different tastes? In a study conducted with babies only 2 hours old, babies made different facial expressions when they started sweet, sour, bitter solution. This is according to Rosenstein and Oster, 1988, and cited by Suntrack 2002. Do infants relate information through several senses? In short, are infants capable in intermodal perception? Intermodal perception is the ability to relate, connect, and integrate information about two or more sensory modalities such as vision and hearing. The capacity for intermodal perception or ability to connect informations coming through various modes get sharpened considerably through experience. So, week 12, cognitive development of infants and toddlers. Babies are not only growing physically during the first 2 years of life, but also cognitively. Every day, while they interact with and learn about their environment, they are creating new connections and pathways between nerve cells, both with their brains and between their brains and bodies. Sensomotor development. Children go through a period of dramatic growth and learning. As kids interact their environment, they are continually making new discoveries about how the world works. The cognitive development that occurs during this period takes place over relatively short period of time and involves a great deal of growth. Learning and remembering. All of us experience infantile amnesia, the inability to recall events that happened when we were very young. In psychosexual theories, Sigmund Freud, he called it childhood amnesia. Not all the things we can recall our domain is language, pre-reading, and pre-math. 0 to 6 months. Watches primary caregiver intently as she speaks him or to her. 7 to 12 months. Understands no. Points to family members when asked to do so. Follows one-step instruction without need for gestures. 19 to 24 months. Points to 5 named pictures, objects when asked to do so. The child is able to use words and gestures to express his thoughts and feelings. 0 to 6 months. Makes gurgling, cooing, bubbling, and other vocal sounds. Makes gestures, example stretching his or her arms, pointing to indicate what he or she wants. Repeats sounds produced by others. Says meaningful words like papa, mama to refer to specific persons. 13 to 18 months. Speaks in single words. Says yes and no appropriately. 19 to 24 months. Uses pronouns. Says possessive pronouns. Attempts to converse even if he cannot be clearly understood. And says what he or she wants without accompanying these gestures. Higher order mental abilities. Concept formation. The child develops basic concepts pertaining object constancy, space, time, quantity, etc., and uses this as basis for understanding how materials are categorized in his or her environment. So that's all for the Unit 4. Thank you for watching.